Hey everybody. This your boy Twan, AB, Antoine Ballard, whatever you want to call me. I just decided to take my opinions and put them on video like everybody else, see if I can get 15 minutes of fame or 14 or 12 or 11. Yeah, I'm in a bunker. You see the background, I'm in a bunker somewhere in Middle East, Georgia. Uh, no, I haven't designed everything yet. But what I want to do is just, like I said, give my opinions on my thoughts about sports mainly, and every now and then I'll throw in something concerning music. So just thought I'd put it on here and try to give something different that's a little bit outside the box, or a little bit different than what everybody else is thinking. I am not here to per se be a critic, nor necessarily an analyst, just somebody who's giving an opinion. But what I'm going to try not to do is be critical to where I'm judging. Um, I believe that, to a certain extent, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm not here to judge anybody's personal life or personal business. That I will try to stay away from most likely. Also, I'm not here to debate politics. I'm here to debate sports, and as I said, talk a little bit about music. I'm not here to debate who's beefing with who or who's sleeping with who, whether it's in sports or whether it's in music or whether it's in uh, acting. I'm not here to do that either. Just give an opinion again about sports. So um, again, I'm not trying to judge anybody by what they do outside of what they do on the field or on the court. With that being said, I hope it's enlightening for you guys. I know there'll be opinions about it. Somebody's going to think I'm a bonehead, think I'm stupid or ridiculous, and that's fine. That's the world we live in right now. That this is who we are. So I get all that, but I won't be spending my time responding to people making negative comments. Personal negative shots. If you're making personal negative shots, you're fueled by responses. So if I don't respond to you, it's not a lot of fun for you, is it? So, with that being said, I got a list of things that I want to talk about, no specific order. So, you know, I just looked through different things and saw different stories and said, okay, let me see what I'm going to do concerning opinions about it. So I'm going to go there. Yeah, I wasn't trying to shave or nothing like that. I'm not one of those guys who's going to do that. So, but when I get around to it, one of these days I'll do that. You'll see me with different sports gear on. Chargers is my football team. I know, take all your shots, blah, 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 yada, yada. The Seminoles, Florida State Seminoles is my team. All things Florida State, that's me. I'm also a Los Angeles Angels fan and a San Antonio Spurs fan. I will talk about other sports, which I may be fancy, talking about hockey. I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tennis, I'm a fan of Novak Djokovic and Serena. Uh, Also, it could be, hockey, as I mentioned, and then anything else that may come to surface that I might think uh, I may want to give an opinion on, then I'll do that. Okay, so thanks to everyone who may take a chance to look at this, and if you want to float it out to other people, you can do that as well. Um, right now, I'm going to start having this just on my Twitter right now, and that's at Test Gone Wrong. Again, at TESTGONEWRONG. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to put it on my Twitter first. I may start a blog one of these days, but I don't like typing. I type enough at work, so I might not want to do that. So you'll always catch these here. I'll try to do one once a day. They won't be the same length because I'm not going to repeat about different stories unless there's some extra to add to it. Again, I'm going to try not to jump to any conclusions before I hear the whole story. That is the premise behind what I'm doing. You know, I just don't want to jump into saying, okay, this and that, and then you find out something different. That's hard to do in this day and age because everybody's trying to be the first person to report news. And at the end of the day, they don't have the whole story or they're not waiting for the whole story, but they want to get it out to us society and us humans to draw an opinion on it and spark debate. And that's not always good. That being said, the first thing I just want to mention is I heard that Tiger Woods is getting help, professional help for his, not necessarily drug addiction, but his usage of drugs and his sleeping disorder. I'm glad that he's getting that. Hopefully, he can come back and play golf at some point in his life. I think a real golf fan knows that he can never come back and be who he can be, But I think he's just trying to find something to do until he can get on the senior tour. At 50, he can get on the senior tour, but I think he's in his early 40s, so he's got a way to go. So he has nothing else to do. So he wants to come back and play golf. Unfortunately, his body's not cooperating with him. To that, I just say, get well soon, Tiger. But keep your personal business out the media. Okay, first you went to the sex anonymous, and now you're doing this concerning your drug usage or whatever. You ain't got to tell everybody that. You go do it, fix yourself. The media doesn't need to know everything that you're going to do. Only thing the media needs to know, and which will be public knowledge anyway, is when you come back to the course and you're ready to play. So with that being said, again, Tiger, do your thing, get well, and hope to see you back on the course because, number one, I like watching you play, and golf likes to see you there because they make more money. People watch, people come see you. So, get yourself better, try to come back and get it done. Next thing on my list is the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's stories about Cleveland Cavaliers going after Jimmy Butler. Well, Cleveland just did not re-sign their general manager. So I guess so who's calling the shots? If this report's coming out today saying that they're going after Jimmy Butler and the general manager and the assistant general manager did not stay, who's calling the shots? The owner? I'm not sure he knows what he's doing. And no, LeBron isn't calling the shots. But hey, if you believe that, then go ahead, believe that. But and then the understanding is that Jimmy Butler, they're offering Kevin Love for him. You're gonna give away your 3-point shooting and your rebounding for the guy. Now I understand that you might be trying to get younger, but I don't know. I'm almost okay with giving away Tristan Thompson, even though he's younger. Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love both were on the same page when they were talking about the finals. They both, had their good games. I think Tristan Thompson's best game was the last game, and Kevin Love's best game was probably the last game or even game 4. The first 3 games, both of them were pretty much MIA. So basically, if you're only going to get them 40% of the time, either one of them to me is tradable. So, but I don't believe that story right now. You're going to hear a lot of crap before July 1st, and even by July 1st, you're going to hear a lot of different things. So with that being said, I'm not making a big deal of it right now because, it's all hearsay. Like I said, NBA likes to keep people, keep people's attention on what they're doing, and it's really not a big deal right now. All of it's going to be hypotheticals, and that's ridiculous. Uh, that also brings me to the fact about Andre Iguodala and re-signing with Golden State. Just last week, I heard that the deal was nearly done to re-sign with Golden State, and now today they're talking about he's seriously talking about leaving. This is more proof that you can't listen to the media. The media's going to tell you 1,000 things, and nobody waits for anything to get done yet. Everybody wants to just put it out there because, again, they're trying to be the first person to break the news, whether it's accurate or not. So, with that being said, I will wait to see July 1st is when anybody can sign anything or make any moves. So I will wait until then. I still believe that Andre Iguodala wants to stay in Golden State, but the only caveat I think would be for him not to stay is if what Golden State wanted to offer or could offer is much lower, very much lower than what, or very low in a discount on what he would get on the market. Because right now he could probably demand between 15 and 20 million on the market. He made nearly 12 million this year with Golden State, so I think he'd easily get 15 to 20 million, even though he's 33 years old, because he's so efficient. So I think he could get that amount on the market. I think Golden State would have to keep him around that 11 to 12 million that he made this year. Anything considerably less, I don't think he would stay. But again, try not to hypothesize it. Hopefully, it works out for him, whichever way it's going to be. But again, if I hear last week that he was staying, and then this week they say he's definitely going, then that tells you nobody's being accurate. Just wait for the deal to get done. Kevin Durant opted out, and that was basically something that everybody knew he was going to do. He still plans to re-sign with Golden State, and all this is just to make sure that they got enough room to. Actually, it's not even enough room. It's just to make sure that they can do what they need to do concerning re-signing important players, and of course Steph Curry. So this is not news to me. This is what he had planned on doing. LeBron has done it. Wade has done it. So everybody does it because, again, it's about making the right moves, what have you. And Kevin Durant has said he's willing to take less or to do whatever it takes to stay on the team and take less, only about 3 to 4% different, 3 to 4 million difference from what he made this year to do what he needs to get done. And again, you know, also that lower amount also could help re-sign Andre Iguodala. So with that being said, that's a no-brainer there. I expect him to be with Golden State as well. Golden State has a lot of players that they got to figure out what they're going to do with it because they got they probably have their top four still in place, and they had a couple of young rookies that will about three rookies that can still fill a spot, but that still leaves about 4 to 5 players to fill out that 12-man roster on what they're going to do with it. A lot of guys are contracts are up, or it's an option year, so but they got a lot of work to do, and I think probably what it'll end up is they're going to try to keep a couple of those players. And you're talking about Iguodala, you're talking about maybe even Sean Livingston. They still may lose Livingston on the market, but if it takes them going over the salary cap to pay the luxury tax to keep some of these players, I think they'll do that. So you won't see, you're not going to see the biggest change in Golden State like you did last year. The Celtics Sixers trade, I guess it's good for the Sixers because they finally got a point guard. I think they went 5 years straight drafting forwards, so it's forwards and centers. So they finally got a point guard, so that's a good thing. So it works out for them. They basically gave away another first round pick, but it was a first round pick they got from somebody else. I think it was the Lakers. I don't know, but they've made a good move for the Celtics. Have got draft picks galore to work with. I'm not quite sure what Danny Ainge is trying to do. I think even just picking up another draft pick can help them next year or help them later on in this draft. But not sure what they're trying to do. Maybe a big what they need, but I don't think I don't think what the Celtics need is what is going to come out of the draft. I think they need a veteran player and a proven player, to help them out. Being younger won't help them get over the hump of being tops in the Eastern Conference. While we're talking about the Celtics, I just want to throw out there real quick. I saw the latest 30 for 30 where it was the Celtics versus Lakers. That's number 4 on my list of best 30 for 30s that I've seen. So shout out really quick to the person who made that film and ESPN for putting it out there. It's a great film. It wasn't just about the games. It was about the personalities and the players and the rivalry and even the history of LA and Boston with from history back into the 60s and how society played a role in basketball. And so that was real good to see. So again, it's one of my top 4 30 for 30s. I still can't vault it over 9.79, Pony Excess, or the best that never was. So, but it's right there, number 4. So, and then my 5th one will probably be Requiem for the Big East. So those are my top 5 30 for 30s. The government decided that it would be wrong to make the Redskins change their name because it was offensive to people. I guess that's good for the Redskins, I guess. So that's pretty much my opinion. Like I said, I wasn't going to get too political on it, but, it is what it is. I mean, the Cleveland Indians, nobody's going after Cleveland Indians. So, who knows? But, if it saves Mr. Snyder a couple of million, then so be it. I would have thought that, hey, maybe you increase sales by changing the name of the team. You increase sales because you got a new team and a new logo. Hey, go figure. Mayweather versus McGregor. Let me make this quick. This is almost bad as talking about LeBron versus Michael Jordan. I'm just going to wait till I see the end of the fight. That's it. And then I have an opinion on it. Other than that, there's really nothing else to talk about when you're talking about a fighter, even though he's 40, one of the best fighters to ever fight, versus a guy who's never boxed before. That's pretty much all I can add to that. Ain't nothing I can really say on it. At the end of the day, I can talk to you in, when is the fight? I don't even know when the fight is. August, September? What is it, June? August, September? I don't know. But after the fight, we'll talk about that. I will tell you this, that Mayweather has more to lose than McGregor. Most people don't think McGregor will win anyway. And what he stands to gain is a very big payday. And it'd be a very big payday that he would ever make in his lifetime if he fought MMA the rest of his life. Floyd Mayweather, the only thing he can gain from it is another 9-digit payout. What he stands to lose is being 40 years old, slower motor skills, slower speed. You risk yourself losing. He can lose his 49-0. He could also hear a whole bunch of crap about people saying, "Hey, you lost a guy who couldn't even box, who has never boxed before." Uh, for all we know, McGregor may be crazy, maybe try MMA and move on him just to do it. But if Mayweather is really concerned about his stature or his place in boxing history, this was not a fight that he needed to make. But I guess money talks, and when you can get 9 figures out of it, can you really pass it up? Especially if you're a guy who has made a knack, or is one of the best at hitting people without getting hit. Yeah, you kind of figure out ain't nothing to lose on it. But when a guy you're fighting is I don't know, what is he, 12 years younger than him? Is he 28? I don't know, 32, something like that. I don't know, he's between 8 and 12 years younger than Mayweather. You risk a lot. And the one thing about boxers, they always fight too long. They always fight that one extra fight they shouldn't fight. And this could be the one for Mayweather. So we'll see what happens, and that'll be the next time I comment on that fight. There was also a UFC fighter. I think his last name was Hague, Hague. Prayers to his family, because he lost his life doing UFC. And the only reason why I mention this is because people don't even realize that guys are going out there risking their lives for payday, and they could die in that one match. This guy, unfortunately, he was actually KO'd 4 times in the last 22 months. So he's been KO'd, knocked out, basically, 4 times in less than 2 years. And when you're talking about knocked out in MMA, you either caught a foot, a knee, or a blow to the head with a fist, or you even been slammed down, and you got KO'd 4 times. I'm disappointed that anybody would let him keep fighting. I think his record was like 21-13, and I think he was 1-3 in his actual UFC fights, and he was like 21-13 total when including his other fights. So this guy was never in a position, at least before this fight, he shouldn't have even been doing. And so I'm a little disappointed that maybe they need UFC or MMA, whomever, needs to tighten the regulations on making sure these guys are fit to fight. Because if you're going to talk about concussion protocol, it doesn't get any bigger than these type of guys. You talk about football, these guys here, there's no protection on their head. So if they got a concussion, they got a real concussion. But, again, prayers to his family. Hopefully UFC can do something a little bit better about protecting these fighters. We understand you want to make the fights what they are. They're blood sport, But, this is, you gotta help the person out if they don't want to help out themselves. So, save them from themselves and help their families. Shout out to, and I'm so mad I forgot his name. I think his name Kroger or something. Oh man, I'm so mad. I'll get it right on the next video I do. But he's an FSU alumni for winning the U.S. Open. That's the golf tournament slam. He is an FSU alumni. Got to give a shout out because they're FSU alumni. So shout out to him. I get your name right tomorrow. I'll give you a quick shout out tomorrow as well. Shout out to Diana Taurasi. She's the all-time scorer in WNBA history. I never thought that she would never make it. I knew she would make it as long as she stayed healthy and played. Diana Taurasi was never one to pass. But she's a ball all day long, but she shoots first. And if anybody was going to break Tina Thompson's record, it was going to be Diana Taurasi. She doesn't look like she has she's not going to be slowing down at any time. So she's going to try to pad that a little bit. And she knows she's going to have to pad it because I think if anybody's going to challenge it somewhere in the near future, it'd probably be Maya Moore. So congratulations again, Donna. It has been 2,842 days since the University of Miami has beaten Florida State University in college football. This will be a repeated statement until Miami beats Florida State. And it's not that I'm looking forward to that. I'm just going to let you know that I'm going to mention this in every video. Should Miami beat them, then I just won't be mentioning anymore, and I'll have to start over once we beat Miami. But until that happens, it's been 2,842 days since the University of Miami has beaten the Florida State University Seminoles in college football. I got no Spurs news for you. No San Antonio Spurs news. Everything quiet. They usually keep it quiet. A lot of things that we should do or that we need to do. We really have to address a lot of things. But right now it's just a wait and see. I don't want to hypothesize on anything. Pau Gasol still has to decide whether he's going to opt in. If he opts out, then he's probably talking about retiring because he's. I don't think he's going to get. I think it's 18 million that we would pay him next year. I don't think he's going to get that out on the market. So I think if he opts out, he's probably talking about retiring. And the only reason I'm saying he should be talking about retiring is because he looked like he should have retired based on his playoff performance this season. Um, I think Jonathan Simmons, he's going to be high on the market. His contract was up. He's going to be high on the market. So we may lose him. Hopefully we can keep him. Dwayne Dedman, I think we can match an offer for him. So that's going to be work there. Manu Ginobili may not retire, but he may come back for less money. I don't think Manu would play for anybody else. And I don't think we're trying to force him to retire. If he still feels like he can play, I think we'll take him back. And he's okay with coming off the bench, and I'm fine with it too. So for my those who there, I've had plenty of people disagree with me with my viewpoint on Danny Green 3 years, 3 years ago, but now they are on the board with me. Um, I don't think we should have given Danny Green 40 million over 4 years when we did that 3 years ago. I was I was against it. Or I would tell people who would listen that we shouldn't have done that 3 years ago, right after we had won that title. And I still feel that we shouldn't have done it. And I've been, I just didn't think. I mean, he was rewarded for his defense, and as a shooting guard, I need more from you offensively than defensively. If you look at Golden State, they weren't as great defensively as people want to say they were. They gave up 137 to Cleveland in game four. But they weren't shutting people down, and they weren't the lowest scoring defense in the league this year. So, with that being said, I think defense is a little overrated, especially from the shooting guard position, because you gotta, as a shooting guard, you gotta shoot the ball. And Danny Green didn't even average 10 points a game, and so I need the man to average 10 points a game. I need the man to score points, and if we can get something for him, a viable shooting guard, or allows us to be able to get another score, then that's what we got to do. So I would be fine with that. So Danny, appreciate all that you've done. I think for two of the championships that we had, but that's about it. That's about all we can do right now. It's time to cut you loose. Spurs. Usually we get rid of you when we should get rid of you, and that's that. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, a lot of people don't like LaMarcus Aldridge. I like him. I think he still had a little problem with dealing with his heart issue or his health issue. But I think when he is healthy, and I don't think he was healthy, when he is healthy, he gets things done. So um, I haven't given up on him. I know a lot of people have, but he played much better when Kawhi was in the game. A lot of people don't look at that, so a lot of pressure was taken off of him. LaMarcus isn't Tim Duncan. LaMarcus isn't, if you give me the ball, I'm just going to keep shooting. Uh, it is surprising because of the fact that when he was in Portland, he did just that. He would shoot the ball. Now he just feels, not sure if the comfort level is there, but it should be there. He's been there 2 years now. But at the end of the day, I haven't given up on him. I still think he's a good piece to this puzzle, and hopefully, off season to help him get better, and then with Kawhi returning, I think he'll be fine. Lastly, what I'm going to talk about is, two things, not lastly, when we're talking about the Spurs. Patty Mills right now, Patty Mills is probably a big asset on the market. I don't think we'll be able to keep him. So with that being said, we may lose him. So look at us maybe drafting a big, depending on what happens with Dedmon and Powell, and then maybe even a point guard if we're talking about, because Tony Parker won't be back until January. So we won't have a point guard if we lose Patty Mills. I think our only other point guard is Anderson. So Kyle Anderson, I think. So we got some holes to fill, and so we may need a point guard in that situation. Now, talking about point guard, as I mentioned, Tony Parker won't be back till January. I think Parker, if he's willing to be a backup, would be great. And with that being said, if we can get Powell off the books, whether it be via trade or if he retires and we can trade Danny Green, I'm all for going after Chris Paul if he wants to play for us. I think Rockets are making a play for him, but I think a lot of people are making a play for him. But I think he would fit right in on our team. He's gritty, and I think that's one thing that San Antonio's lack: grit. We're very finesse. We're not a muscle team. We're not bullies. And the whole team doesn't have to be bullied, but you got to have one or two bullets on it. And we're very finesse. And if the big guys or whomever is overpowering us, then we're in trouble. So if they're too physical, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for, physical. So we got to work on that. And Chris Paul will fit right in and give us a little bit of grit. I miss David West in that particular instance because our bigs didn't have any grit. But that's why I also like Dedmon because I think he provides grit to the team. So that would be a good thing if we can do that. Other than that, like I said, it's a wait and see because a lot of pieces of the puzzle we got to figure out what happens and go from there. But as always, go Spurs, go. Los Angeles Angels, we got to talk about my Angels. Mike Trout will be back soon. I think we've probably done 500, maybe a game or two over 500 since he's been gone. That's actually a good thing, or we may have been hovering around 500. We have not, of course, we're 11 and a half games back of the division, but we're only a game and a half back for wild card. So we're still within reach to make the playoffs. And Trout could be back at as soon as the end of the week. So it'd be great to see the MVP back for the Angels. We could definitely use them. The San Diego Chargers, my football team. It's kind of been low in front. Got the new coach, and the new coach is trying to put the pieces together. Hopefully, we can just keep everybody healthy. If it's one common theme for the in those Mike, what is his name, Mike, whatever his name. Anyway, in the last coaching regime, there was one common thing we had is nobody could stay healthy. So hopefully we can keep the O-line healthy to protect Phillip Rivers, and we can keep a receiver healthy because we have a good receiving core when they're healthy, and of course keeping running backs healthy. If we can do that, I think we'll be okay. The defense to me is not bad. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. But you can't leave a defense out there, over 50% of the time and expect to win football games. And then on the offensive end, Phillip Rivers ain't getting hit for no reason, for nobody. So if you don't protect him, he's going to throw the ball. He's going to make mistakes. And that's almost what any quarterback would do if they don't throw it out of bounds. He's got to be smarter with the ball. You got to protect them. And so if we can figure out the offensive end and keep everybody healthy, this team may not be bad. Right now, I still put them at no better than 500 because I don't know what kind of team we actually have until we watch them play. One thing that we haven't been good at doing is closing out games. We probably lost, I know the year before we lost like 8 to 10 games by less than a touchdown. I think we were close to that amount last year. So that means we can't close games. And that means that when the pressure gets on, we can't get it done. And part of that pressure goes to our offense and, people not being healthy. And then also Phillip Rivers being smarter with the ball. So again, we'll talk about the Chargers later on. But that's where I see them at right now. NBA draft is coming on Thursday. Spurs usually always draft at the end of the rounds. There's no telling who they may draft. I know we always draft somebody foreign, and we usually get get an American kid, and so we'll see what happens there. But I know we're probably looking at probably a big, probably somebody who can play center or power forward, and then probably a point guard. Shooting guard, yeah, that could be big too because if Manu retires or is thinking about retiring, and if they're actually thinking about getting rid of Danny Green, then we probably need a shooting guard. But we do have, like I said, we have Anderson, and I think I'm missing somebody, but I don't know. But Jonathan Simmons is more of a small forward. I think he could play shooting guard. He would just be a big shooting guard. So I kind of like him there too, but that means if he's not playing small forward, he's playing shooting guard, then we probably need another small forward. So that's big there. If we lose Dedmon and also David Lee can opt out, and he probably will because he wants more money, then we may need a power forward. So we kind of we're going to need a big and probably need a point guard. I'm not sure we're going to need a shooting guard. Like I said, I like Jonathan Simmons playing the shooting with Kawhi on the court. That means we just got to have a decent bench. But the draft should be interesting. I think Philly already has a first pick. After that, I don't know. Who knows? I guess I'll have more to say on that come Thursday. A little switch from a different kind of basketball to college basketball. University of Louisville got some sanctions by the NCAA for having a little bit too much fun. It's our understanding that they hired prostitutes, strippers, I don't know. And so the NCAA is trying to hand down some sanctions on them. Louisville is still appealing those, but at the end of the day, what's done in the dark gonna come to light, folks. You just can't do it, unless and I don't know all the details behind it, or I didn't research all the details behind it. But I think one of the things was the person who reported them felt like she didn't get paid or something like that. You got to pay your strippers out, so you got to pay your strippers. If you don't do that, this could happen. But at the end of the day, what's done in the dark can come to light. And so what should you do? Not do it. They also talking about stripping Louisville their title. I don't know why they would do that. The strippers didn't help them win no championships. People say, well, they might have brought them to sign with Louisville. No, a stripper is just for one night. Unless the strippers was there the whole season or all 4 years, doesn't make any sense. You don't punish the program. These guys worked hard and they did it on the court. If you're just going to punish the school, okay, put them on probation, take some scholarships, but don't try to wipe away a championship. They worked hard, they earned it, and I believe that in any of the other sports. Never take away the games, never take away the championships. At the end of the day, they still earned it. And I even go back as far as Reggie Bush, where they were thinking about taking the Heisman, and he sent it back to him, but they were thinking about taking it, and they they vacated USC's championship. And to me, it doesn't matter. I get it. If they were given money and that prompted them to go, I get it. But at the end of the day, like I said, they went out on the field and they played hard and they earned it. Like I said, you can still punish the school without taking away trophies and championships. How do you do that? Take away scholarships. Not let them go to bowl games or have postseason bans. Hell, let's do something weird. Let's fire the coach. Let's suspend the coach. You barely do that. You do it with the players. You don't do that with the coaches. Let's do that. Let's be a little bit more consistent with that. Just real quick for Major League Baseball, I want to go back to that. Everybody seems to stay hurt. How do I know that? Because I play a lot of fantasy baseball, and these players stay hurt now. Are they? What is their off-season regimen? Because everybody stays hurt now. Is it 162 games really too long? But if you're getting hurt game 5, you can't blame it on 162 games schedule. But they seem to stay hurt more. Got to figure that out. Maybe the what do you call it? The people who strength and conditioning people need to do better with those guys. So that was something I was really concerned on. Another thing that I found out today: $203 million was spent on international amateur free agents this year. $203 million. What does that say on amateur? That means you talk about the African Americans not playing any more baseball. You might not have the Caucasian players playing any more baseball, with baseball spending all that kind of money on international amateur players. Just thought it'd be interesting to point that out. So either abroad or wherever they're playing at, if they're playing better ball, we're gonna have to step our game up. I don't know if we think we're entitled to get these spots, but Major League Baseball is about winning. And if those players are like they got the tools to get it done, then that's what it is, guys. You better step up your game, or baseball will be major international league baseball. So better be careful there. Jerry West says he's going to do his last gig with the Clippers. If he can turn around the Lakers, he turned around the Grizzlies, and even turned around Golden State. And you're going to now basically like be in the Lakers' backyard and stab them in the back and turn around the Clippers. He probably should have showed up a couple of years ago, and we would probably talk about the Clippers in the finals. Now he's got a real thing. He's got something big that he really got to figure out how to handle. I think Blake Griffin's contract is up. Chris Paul's contract is up. A lot of other guys' contracts are up, and they got to figure out what they're going to do. I think Doc at a time was a GM, and he realized he couldn't do it, or he couldn't do it. Now this may help, and I think Doc is not a bad coach, but Doc has got to. Now you can see if Doc can really coach, because if Jerry West can put the pieces together, then Doc has to coach him. So we'll see what happens there. If Jerry West still has that magic for his fourth team, look out though. If the Clippers aren't good this year, maybe next year they will, because I think they got to have some financial things they got to look at. I think also Ballmer is trying to have his own arena for the Clippers, which is a great idea. Shouldn't be sharing arenas for basketball. You shouldn't be sharing arenas for any sports, but for basketball, they definitely shouldn't have that. So that's going to be good. So uh, see what happens with Jerry West. You could have more Clipper fans coming up, more bandwagon fans with the Clippers. Um, as I mentioned before, that's it from the sports end. But as I mentioned before, sometimes I'll talk about music. Actually, today I finally listened to Big Boy from Outkast, his new CD. I'm not heavy on rap, but I will listen to my old school rap or the rap that I've heard from artists back in the day. If they're still putting out albums, I'll listen to those. I'm not privy to all of the rap that is out there from any of the artists. I will be trying to find out what they are. Will I necessarily listen to all of them? Probably not, because I'm not a rap guy. But when I get around to it, I'll let you know. So Big Boy CD is out. It's a nice CD. It's a pretty nice CD. My favorite cut on that CD, because it's called Boomiverse. Uh, and my favorite cut on there is Order of Operations. So if you're into Outkast and Big Boy, check out Boomiverse, Boomiverse by Big Boy. It's a pretty good CD. Came out Friday the 16th. Other artists that have music out, whether it be on the rap or the jazz or the R&B end, Daily. If I said his name right, Daley. His CD comes out in July, but he does have a new track out with Jill Scott, so you might want to hear that. Molly Music has a CD out. I have not heard it all, so don't know yet. Stokely, lead singer of Mint Condition, his CD comes out on the 23rd, so that is Friday. Yeah, 23rd is Friday. Can't wait to hear that one. He does have a song out right now called Level. You want to check that out. Guapole, I think I said that right. Goapele, female. One of my favorite female artists. She has a CD out. I have not listened to it yet. I will get around to that. Uh, Confession, I'm a Drake fan. I like listening to Drake. I like his beats, and sometimes some of the stuff he says makes sense. But he's almost like in his own world. He just does his thing, and it sells. My son got me into Drake, so I listen to him, and I listen to Drake more when I'm jogging, when I'm doing my daily run. So I listen to Drake. His latest CD is called More Life. I like it. I like Sacrifices and Passion Fruit, believe it or not. So Kendrick Lamar, I'm sure all of you have heard the buzz about his CD called Damn, Damn. It's a pretty good CD from front to back. If you like Kendrick Lamar, then you'll love this CD. I think you will. He's got a lot of variety on there, so it'll be pretty good for you to see. From the jazz end, if you like Pieces of a Dream, that CD is out. Ken Ford and Jakeem Joyner. Those are the ones that I know are out there. Probably some others that I've missed. Don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my head. But that's the music minute for you. If I hear of anything else, then definitely I'll let you know. And I also solicit. I'll be soliciting to everyone. If there's topics you want me to discuss that it has to do with sports and music, again, not anything political, not anything about gossip and drama, but anything else, I'll definitely talk about that and see if I can shed some light on some certain things. Uh, so that's it from the music and the sports venue. One other thing, free Colin Kaepernick. Somebody do something. Somebody sign my man. I will be saying that every time until somebody signs him. If they never sign him, don't worry. You'll hear an opinion from me later on concerning that. Again, hopefully this wasn't too long. It was about 40 minutes almost. But I appreciate you listening and any opinions or some insights. Please give me that to where I can make it better. I know I'm all over the place, but that's why I want to be all over the place. No sense in having an order, um, because it just makes it easier for me. So again, God bless all of you. Be safe and enjoy your sports. Take care.